30 years ago, this past November, I saw the Allman Brothers Band for the first time. It began this lifelong journey that includes me talking to you right now, and that's a testament as much to Dickey Betts as anybody else on the planet. Dickey was the absolute master of that stage that night. Two things really stand out to me as I think back on it, beyond the obvious, which we'll get to in just a second. First was how happy Dickie seemed. I didn't realize it at the time, but he had just done a short stint in rehab or detox and had just rejoined the band. And that was pretty cool. The other thing is the debut of the song "Back Where It All Begins," a song that really encapsulates Dickie Betts' spirit very well to me, and it's always stuck with me. One of the first of the like new songs that I really gravitated to. Always enjoyed hearing it in concert. Um, and then I guess the final was they actually did play Mountain Jam, and I didn't expect it. Actually, I didn't know not to expect it. It's a better way to say it. But they did bust out a version of Mountain Jam that for the first time in many, many, many years, not just the truncated version that ended up in Jessica. About a year and a half ago, I sat down and talked with a podcast at my alma mater, University of Central Florida. Sebastian Garcia asked me about some memorable moments, and I recounted this story and a little better than I've done it today. Really thinking about Dickie a lot and his legacy and his impact on my life, on my scholarship, on my music listening, on my guitar playing. And I put some up on Substack on that, www.longlivetheabb.com, on my initial thoughts on that. I'm doing a deep dive on his instrumentals right now, including some of the lesser known ones, to do a little more info on that. Anyway, here's me with Sebastian Garcia, podcaster at Night's History Cast, I think it's called. Long live the Allman Brothers Band.
Expecting, because it's at the fairgrounds, that I'm going to see a nostalgia act. I'm expecting to go in there and see a bunch of old people playing the hits with a couple of new members. And I left a lifelong fan. I was so blown away, Sebastian. It would be the same if you were to go see Tedeschi Trucks band today, and you'd be like, oh my God, they're still doing this? Right. It didn't stop. I was so blown away. I immediately drove to the record store the next day and bought a compilation album of live cuts from another era, just because I was like, they have to be great. And, it was like, if they're this good now, and I just kept seeing them there. So that's probably, one of my favorite ones of them, was seeing them live for the first time and experiencing it and realizing, oh, this isn't over.
Right.
And not even realizing it at the time. At the point, I hadn't even thought about, dreamt up doing it.